Hello, it is day 7 of designmas, and today we're going to be doing a little Q&A. I asked my Instagram followers on my story and also in my broadcast channel. It's called the Pookies group chat. What they want to know, what questions do they want me to answer? Let's just get right into it. The first question by BMAT. How did you find your creative style? I looked at a lot of advertising. I'm really big fan of like vintage advertisings from 70s and the 80s. And honestly, I found it when I first started my 365, I didn't really have much of a style. The only thing that I really did know how to do was doing like newspaper front pages. That's how I first learned how to design. Was I designed the Fresno City Rampage student-run newspaper. And so a lot of my creative, a lot of my style stems from that. You can still see the that DNA of that with like big, bold headlines that I use in my designs. Is because that's how I learned how to design. I'm a self-taught designer. I've never taken a course in college for design or any of that. I mean, actually, I did take like a rudimentary Photoshop like class back in community college, and I made this. It's just me, different versions of me. I was like, whoa, cool! I could make versions of myself. Like, oh, isn't that cool? But that's pretty much the only design education I had. So the only design education I really had was on my own, being the layout editor for the Fresno City Rampage newspaper. And then once I started 365, I started looking on Pinterest and really fell in love with 70s and 80s design. One in particular was, and I've said this many times when people ask me what my style is, but it came from, what's his name? This guy named Tom McElligott. He was a copywriter in Minnesota or something. I think he's from Minnesota. So, and he had like the designer or the art director was named Ron Anderson. I think they both worked together, but I really fell in love with their work because they had like really funny copy and just like really fun images. And I think that's pretty much where I got my style from. And I just kind of, and then like everything else that I saw from Instagram, like Elliot is a cool guy, I'm Josiah, and those are two main ones. I was kind of thinking like, is like this style of design where you kind of express yourself? They were the ones that really gave me the push to do my own stuff. The funny stuff, and then also like more emotional, like more of what I feel. So that is where I found my creative style. And another question by BMAT, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Do you need to be able to draw/illustrate to be a good designer? I don't think you do, because design is all about like moving words and pictures, in my opinion. That's just my definition of it. But it wouldn't, drawing will, and being an illustrator will help you be good at design, I think. It wouldn't hurt, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know how to draw and design, you can learn, or if you know how to draw and illustrate, you could pretty easily transition to design. Although I know some illustrators who don't know how to like design, but I think learning one or the other will help each other. Like, I don't think it'll harm, like, I don't think it'll be a bad idea to learn. Like, if you don't know one or the other, learn the other thing. And I don't think it hurts. But you don't need to be able to draw or illustrate to be a good designer. Although I think Paul Rand or Saul Bass who said like, oh, designers, if you don't know how to draw, you're not a designer. Well, guess what, bitch? I'm still doing it. And I don't know how to draw. I wish I knew how to draw, but maybe one day, maybe one day I'll learn. Maybe I'll learn. RefugeStudios.ic asks, was the color choice for the overset logo inspired by Safety Orange? If you guys don't know, it's nice that commissioned me to do a reel. Like, they invited me to create a reel. It's about Safety Orange, and it got really great reactions from certain people. Basically, it's about Safety Orange and like what it came to mean. I mean, obviously it means safety, so it's very highly visible. It kind of got overused, and it kind of took on a new meaning as you see more and more, and as our like infrastructure crumbled. It's a very interesting topic. I might do a longer video in the future. Also read Safety Orange by Anna Watkins Fisher. That's like my primary source for that video. Very short, you can read it, it's free. I'll link it somewhere here. No, but orange the orange of overset text isn't actually based off Safety Orange, because it's actually probably just because from Channel Orange by Frank Ocean, because I really love that album. And I think orange is just a fun color. And if I really want to like kind of, from what I read from Safety Orange, like the book, if we really want to like philosophize or overthink why I like orange or why I chose orange, is because there's a part in the book where she says, and I didn't say this in the reel or TikTok, where she says that orange is the precursor to red. Like orange is like this anxiety, this middle ground between red, which comes to represent like danger, or revolution. Like that's what it could represent. Orange is that like anxious middle ground, or before, like the foreshadowing of red, of danger or revolution. So I think it kind of represents my mood as a person, where I'm just very anxious. Well, like, where are we going in society? I think that's, I just kind of like connected with me, and maybe that's why I like orange. I don't know. I just like it. What is the hardest part of the process of designing? The hardest part is getting an idea, I think. Just starting to really get the ball going. It like once you get the idea, and once it's working in your head, like there's this picture in your mind, right? Like of what you want it to look like. It's trying your best to even get to 5 or 10% of what that looks like. And it's really difficult to do that. It is incredibly difficult. And we don't really succeed sometimes. Like it's either a skill or just like, it's just not working, or something is stopping us from getting to the 100% of that vision in our heads. So that is probably the hardest part. But I don't want you to be too married to like the vision in your head, because sometimes you do happy accidents, and some of the things that you make is actually better than what you imagine. So, but the hardest part is starting. The hardest part is like getting to a good start. But other than that, it's easy. It's just like, sometimes it just kind of makes itself, and I'm like, whoa, cool. Like that's the design. You know, sometimes art just kind of just happens to you. I really believe that when it comes to our art, we are just like antennas. What is that? The car, sorry for the car. Guys, I live across like a school. I live across a school. I shouldn't dox myself. I'm like, oh, he lives across the school. Which one is that? I just moved into this new house. Like, do you guys like this setting? Do you guys like this shot? You guys like the shot, guys? But I truly believe that we're like antennas for creativity, and there's like a beyond that, and we're just kind of receiving. And sometimes I make something, like for example, the "You Are the Universe" poster. I don't know how I made that. I just kind of like did it, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, and it's one of the works that a lot of people like. So I was like, oh, okay. So it's like that easy, I guess. Sometimes it's that easy, sometimes it's not. So you just have to be receptive. You have to be receptive to creativity. Timo VMGN asks, what's your favorite band? My favorite band is, that's hard. I mean, I like the Beatles. I don't really listen to bands. Like, I'm not really like a big rock guy. I can't think of a band that I recently listened to. I guess the Beatles. You know, funny thing about the Beatles is when I was like in 7th or 8th grade, I used to just listen to the Beatles. Like that was I was one of those kids. I was one of those kids where I was like, I only listen to the Beatles. I don't listen to rap. I don't listen to pop, like modern music. I just don't listen to that. I listen to real music. I listen to the Beatles. I was like, okay. Kind of cringe, but I do still love the Beatles. I think, hot take, there's too many Zoomers that are like, oh, the Beatles suck. Like, they're not, like come on, guys. Come on, guys. Like, the Beatles are good. Like, they did a lot for music, okay? Is that a hot take? I feel like, I thought it started out as a joke, like, oh yeah, the Beatles is blah. But like, guys, come on. Let's be real here. The Beatles is good.
We all want a teenage mutant ninja turtle, but which one could turn you into Squirtle? Move your tongue into a circle, the right spot is the universe.
The Beatles is good. What would be your best advice to someone who just graduated in graphic design? Stop doing graphic design. No. Get a new major. Go back to school, start a new major. I wouldn't know, because I didn't graduate with a degree in graphic design. I graduated with a degree in journalism. So I wouldn't know, but I'd probably start applying. You know what it is? I think people who go to design school, I think what I would advise you to do, and I think Anyone who went to design school, chime in on this in the comments. I think it's very important for you to do your own projects. Start your own projects with your design. I feel like that's gonna be like really important to do because it's kind of hard to really fall in love with graphic design. I think as you make graphic design your job, it's gonna be increasingly difficult to find joy in it. And you need to have personal projects where you use the art form of graphic design to, kind of keep your love for it and kind of just stop yourself from being pessimistic. It's like, oh, this is just all for money. And like, this is what I just do for a job. Like, you got to remember that you found it fun at some point, right? So I think that's what you should do. Have fun with remember to have fun with graphic design. Do you. And I think those personal projects is, time and time again, you will find that is what gets you the job. It's what gets you the jobs when people look at your personal projects, when jobs look at your personal projects. I think that'll really beef up your portfolio. Where you on Found? Do you keep an image? Wait, I don't know what Found is. Do you keep an image collection of pictures or concepts? I have a collection of Pinterest. I have a Pinterest board that I've had since 2015. It's been the same. It's been the same ever since. So I'd be using that. You know what's funny? I take pictures when I go to museums and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna look at this later. And guess what? I never look at it. But I do look at my Pinterest a lot. I think there's a danger though in using too much Pinterest because then you just kind of stay there and you kind of like stagnate your visual diet. There is Flickr. There's a lot of good Flickr albums that I like to look at. Emma Burrs has a nice collection of links to really cool Flickr albums. Flickr is like underrated in terms of finding like design inspiration. So I would look for there if you're like tired of looking on Instagram and Pinterest. Honestly, don't stop looking on Pinterest. I think I'm sick of looking at Pinterest, but I still do it though. Look outside. Go look outside. I just look outside. That's where I find my images. J_/Spacey asks, how do you deal with creative block? What's your longest creative block you've had? You know what's funny? If you watch the video where I burn out doing a t-shirt every day, I think that started my creative block or burnout, whatever. I feel like creative block kind of is comorbid. I don't think they're the same, but they kind of feed off each other. And creative, I don't know. I feel like I've had creative blocks since the 365 ended. I'm like trying to chase a high of like trying to get back to that amazing sense of like productivity that I've never again achieved. Like I was kind of like churning out like a poster a day, which is insane. I don't even know how I did that. Like, how did I do that? I think the answer to creative block is find a new medium or work in other mediums. I think I've been really enjoying YouTube videos, making YouTube videos and getting into cinematography, just like framing. I think that's the cure to creative block is find a different medium that there's like less stakes, just so you could get back into the rhythm of creating. Because I think that's what stops people from creating is like there's no more rhythm. It's just not fun. You need to find the fun again in creating. And if it I think there's a block. Yeah, it's literally in the name. Like you get blocked at doing whatever it is that you want to do. I think sometimes you just have to like go away, work on something fun, and then chip away at it again. But I think the number one answer I think I have is just find a different medium and have fun again. And then you can come back to whatever it is, I guess graphic design. I'm like, okay, let's try this again. It's kind of getting dark. I'm gonna get some more light. All right, only_M3I asks, any tips on starting a graphic design account despite having school? Start now. The thing about like starting a social media account of any sort, like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, is that the fear of like, oh, what if what I post isn't good enough? And there's like a fear like, oh, I should have the most perfect thing. But unfortunately, these social media platforms don't really care about like quality at first. And also it's not beneficial for you because you're just gonna end up never doing it. The biggest thing in social media is just consistency. But that also actually could help you in the long run because at this point, you just wanna get your reps in. You just wanna make stuff and then improve upon what you think it is. Because you have to also play the game a little bit, but also what's more important is you're actually practicing your art instead of just like never showing anybody. Like if you never show anyone your art, is it really art, right? Like, so art is supposed to be shared. I feel like that's one of the greatest things about art is showing somebody what you made. Just post it. It's really simple as that. One advice that I'm trying to take is actually from Mr. Beast. Your first 100 videos are gonna be crap. And what I learned this year is that I kind of wanted my videos to be too perfect, and I was getting frustrated because I didn't do it often enough that I learned a lot, or I wasn't learning fast enough because I wasn't doing videos enough. So what I learned, that's why I'm doing designmas in some ways, is because like I am forcing myself to learn fast. Like the point of these videos is to really get to the core of what I like to do and to also learn the art of making videos, because I'm not really that good yet, in my opinion, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But you figure it out by doing and sharing. Obviously, you still need to have like a core idea of what you want to share, right? But I think the part of it is just the creating and the finding out, the fucking around and the finding out, as they say. So just fuck around, but make sure that people could see what you're fucking around with, and you will find out. The Good Record Review asks, how do I come up with compelling, funny graphic design concepts? What do you find funny? That's what you need to figure out. What do you find funny? What do you like? One of the first things is you gotta be funny, but like, yeah, you gotta find out what you find funny. Like try to look for the humor, and then see, the thing about like funny graphic design is sometimes like it's hard to do a visual gag. Like visual gags are extremely difficult, and I really like having like an image. Yeah, that's why I really like advertising. Like advertising is so clever in the way that they, like in the interplay between words and pictures. It's just so funny. Like go look up Tom McElligot's work, and that is so funny. Like the images. So you gotta find like funny ideas for images, and if you could find it on like a stock image, or if you could say something that would contrast really well with a stock image, like that I feel like that's what I find funny. But maybe experiment with that. It's just like telling a joke, but like in graphic design format, and like with colors and words. One that comes to mind just by using colors is like when I was just saying yellow is not a creative color. Like I think that's just so funny. Like having it well designed and like saying something ridiculous is, I think that's what I like about my work. And I think that's also what other people like about my work. And I think you could use that as a format and run with it however you want. So what's a project you're most proud of? Why does it make you feel slay? I mean, obviously the 365 is the project that I'm most proud of. That really made my career. I'm designing a poster every day for an entire year. I'm even proud of the 365 too. I learned my limit. I think there's an importance in learning your limits. I think maybe the first 365 wasn't pushing me enough, but I think I pushed myself enough that I did it every day. And I think that's more of what is important, is what can you do every day that won't burn you out but pushes you still to create better work. I think the most difficult part of being an artist is that even if you make your magnum opus, I think you still have work to do. Like I feel like if you're an artist, or if you enjoy art, if you enjoy doing whatever it is you're doing, even if you make the greatest thing ever that people say, oh, like that's your best work, you just don't stop at that, right? Like you kind of just keep going. What are you gonna do? Like, oh, I guess I did my best work. I guess I'm done. That doesn't really work that way. But I don't even know if that answered the question. What's the project you're most proud of? I guess the 365, but yeah, that's it. I just wanted to go on a tangent about projects. I feel like we have an idealized version of like, what should this be? So I think that's it. Oh, Hi Haven asked that, by the way. I forgot to say their name. Tias.account asks, where do you get inspiration from? I'm struggling. I mean, go look at the first question, but another thing I want to expound on this is, I guess, I don't know if I've said this in a previous video, but inspiration is literally everywhere. Like you gotta look, like I think I'm really emphasizing the idea of a visual diet. Being mindful of things that you like, or just like anything you see. Go look at any flyer. Like I have like stuff right here already, like this newspaper like that I've picked up, like this whatever this is. Probably shouldn't show my address. Whatever this is, like this flyer, like whatever. Like there's stuff in here that you could look at. You might not necessarily like. You might not necessarily like it, but I think it's important to take note and be mindful and look at all these things and say to yourself, why don't I like that? Or why do I like that? And how could I do that as well? Or how could I achieve that effect if you like it? Or how could I integrate that with my work? Being an active observer in your life, in the world. I think that's what is having your ear open, having your eyes open to everything, like, and not shying away from things that are like too low brow or too high brow. I don't know. Like I don't like to make a distinction because it's like, oh, only really artistic people like this, or this is what they do, or this is what they consume. I don't believe in that. I believe in just consuming what I like and also just looking just everywhere. If you think about like the algorithms that we have right now, and I think this is kind of the problem with Pinterest, is that it kind of caters to what you already like, and you just keep seeing more. Like it keeps recommending you more of the stuff, and it's kind of took the joy of finding out, of the joy of discovering new things that you like. And that's why I'm like really for just looking outside, looking at your everyday environment. The more I look at my work, like reflect back on my work and look at my life where I kind of just see signs and billboards as I drive, is that like, oh, this really influenced my work, like your environment even. So I'd say, and you might not know it, it probably does. Like the internet, like I spend a lot of time on the internet. Like I think my posters are pretty much well-designed memes, and I think that's like my exposure to the internet has influenced my work, but that's like part of my environment. It's part of my like visual diet and part of myself. So I think it's just being an active observer of the world and just really taking it all in and taking bits and pieces of it that you like and putting it all together. You're kind of like an AI. You're kind of an AI. Think about the AI as just like grabbing everything and just like shitting it all out. But you're not the AI. You're just not grabbing all of it and just making something that somebody says. You are a unique person with unique gifts and likes and dislikes. And then you synthesize that in your own imperfect way as a human. And that's what makes it special different from AI. Because even if a client thinks that you are a computer or an AI, that they just kind of email you what they want, I think that's the magic is in our imperfect creation of what we have in our brains that makes our art special. I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, is this answering the question? I kind of just like going on tangents. What am I saying? What the fuck am I saying? I need someone to tell me stop. Like, what are you saying? Hopefully that answered your question. Om.Bishop asks, I collect stickers. Do you make or plan on selling stickers? Well, Om.Bishop, I got some good news for you, because on patreon.com/oversettext, I do have this sticker. Give me a second. If you sign up, oh, it's too dark. If you sign up right now, you can get these stickers. These are the only Overset Text stickers that you can get. Let me light this up. These are the only stickers left, okay? These are the only official Overset Text stickers. These are the only ones that are ever been made. Actually, no, there's the MILF stickers as well. If you sign up on patreon.com/oversettext, I have like about maybe less than 200 of these because there's 100 of the glitters and 100 of the whatever these the normal ones. You sign up now, patreon.com/oversettext. You will get this sticker on your first Patreon special package with the postcards. It's called the Overset Text Art Pass. You know, you get a postcard every month for $5 measly. And if you sign up right now, you get this sticker. So sign up now. Patreon.com/oversettext. Okay, that's the end of the ad. But so to answer your question, I do not make stickers, but if you on the Patreon, I will be coming out with stickers more often, probably. Sign up, support the work, please. I have rent to pay. Guys, I have rent rent to pay. Guys, do you want me to have a job? Do you want me to find a real job? I like doing this fake job, guys. Guys, if you guys don't support the Patreon, I can't make these videos anymore. Please. I don't want to get a job. I like making you guys laugh. I like sharing my experiences, making you guys laugh. That's really all I want to do. Anyway, Patrick Civile asks, do you have a portfolio? What kind of websites do you use? I have a portfolio. I created on ReadyMag. Not sponsored because they're not sponsoring this, but the only thing I'll say is I made that on ReadyMag. Why am I giving them free press? They didn't pay for this, but I do have a portfolio. I don't know how to make a portfolio. That's the only portfolio I have. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to say more because ReadyMag needs to pay me to push it more. I might switch. So if all the other ones want to pay me to use their website builder to make my new portfolio, hit me up, oversettext@gmail.com. Please give us your journey on how you became a graphic designer. Well, I kind of answered this in the very beginning, but long story short, I started making Gmod comics on GIMP. That was my first graphic design experience. And then kind of went into photography. You know what's funny? I actually did a 365 photography challenge and I finished it. So the graphic design 365 is technically my second 365. But then I did photography. I wanted to be a photographer. So I went into journalism because I like photojournalism because like that was something that kind of like, oh, I was like, I want to do something that means something to, that helps other people. Because that's just like part of my personality. Is like I want to help people in some way. And I'm not like a really smart, muscular person. I'm not really that smart in like science way. And I don't want to be a nurse, but I like art. So I was like, okay, photography, we could show what's going on in the world and make a difference. So I did that. And then I joined the student-run newspaper because it was a class. And then I saw the newspaper, I thought it looked ugly out of spite because one of the editors was like, Ram, don't touch the layout. And I was like, how dare you say that to me, making your ugly ass paper. So I just out of spite, he left. That editor left because, you know, he graduated and shit. He left and I was the one who took the mantle. I learned InDesign in one semester and I made this magazine. One day, maybe one of these days for designmas, we'll go through that magazine and we'll examine it, see how bad it looked or how good it looks. Guys, I'm good at graphic design, even then. But that's how I learned. I graduated with journalism. Worked at a local newspaper for a year and a half. Then the pandemic hit. Then I got really depressed, and then I quit my job. And then I became really depressed. And then I started Overset Text. So that's the story of how I got here. Very abridged version. Coop Design asks, favorite pen review. What does that even mean? Wait, what? Like, is someone reviewing pens? Can someone give me the links? I would like to watch it because I love little niche TikToks. One niche TikTok I started getting was like Excel TikTok, like all these hacks from Microsoft Excel, which I honestly, the things that they make in there, impressive, really amazing. Actually, I did do a commission for, do you know that there's like a pen, what is it, convention? It was in San Francisco and they asked me to make like the merch and like the design for it. And I was like, what? This is like that was like one of the weirdest clients, but they're also the coolest clients because it was really fast. They paid me. I was like, okay, sick. But I really enjoyed that project. Yeah, it was like a international pen festival in San Francisco. How do you write copy for your posters? Asked Allison Thompson. I usually have a notes app, so I write everything in there. I think someone said this. David Lynch said,
many times you forget them. And if you forget a good idea, you want to commit suicide. So you have to write them down.
If a person forgets an idea that they love, it's a horror. And it could lead to a real yearning to commit suicide.
I write them down so I don't commit suicide later, having forgotten the idea.
Yeah.
If you don't write it down, it could happen that the next day you want to blow your brains out.
David Lynch said that having an idea and not writing it down, he says like it makes him want to kill himself or something like that. And I was like, he's so real for that. Like, that's so real. Like sometimes I have a good idea and I never wrote it down. I was like, fuck. Like it's lost forever now. And I kick myself in the butt for it. Is that the phrase? I kick myself for it. So yeah, write it down. That's how I find out copy. Oh, this is a good question. Priya Jurasinski asks, who inspires you that isn't a graphic designer and isn't in your field? Obviously Frank Ocean, Kanye West. Who inspires me? Probably those two, like musically. But this is actually a good question. See, the good questions make you think. Like, who inspires me that isn't a graphic designer? I don't even think there's a lot of graphic designers that inspire me. Like, Spike Jonze is a good director. I think I draw a lot from film. I don't know. I just think of Frank Ocean. I feel like Frank Ocean really inspires me. That's a good question. Maybe I'll get back to you on that. I really don't know. Like, who's inspiring me? Toasted by Eli asks, favorite positive poster designer from Canada? I don't think I've ever met anyone positive from Canada. Every single person I've met from Canada has been overtly negative. So I don't know where this stereotype like, oh, all Canadians are nice. That has not been my experience. It's all a facade. But if I had to pick one, it probably would be Boring Friends. Ben Boring Friends is my favorite positive poster designer. Nobody else does positive design up there. He's like the only one. But I love Eli. Go check out Eli's stuff. Toasted by Eli. I'll show you this clip of Eli saving me on Fortnite. Oh God, someone's killing you. Look at me! Oh! It's Rick Grimes. Oh, nice! Oh, dude! Oh my God! What is more positive than saving my ass on Fortnite? And we end up winning that round too, so shout outs to Eli. I just puked out an ad design for class. Any tips on making ad designs look less amateurish? Ask JL_concept_and_design. I think the biggest thing I see like amateur designer, not that I'm like any better, is if you really want to make it look clean, I think the biggest thing is just having tight kerning. Tight kerning really like makes like designs look good, because you don't leave it on the default kerning. Like do something with it. Just like make it close together. Don't be scared to be together. Does that even make sense? Don't be afraid to have them all close up to each other. You know, be close. Being close is cool. Being close is cool. We still need to do a design today. Maybe that'll be the thing. Actually, you know what the design that we're gonna start today is? Because the rest of these questions from the Pookies group chat, the broadcast channel that I have on Instagram that you should join, is that most of these fuckers, most of my Pookies be fucking asking meow for us. Why are you so swagalicious? I don't know why, but can you meow? Please meow. I know what you did. Meow for us, please. Meow for the people. Pookie's meow is the right of all, not a privilege of the wealthy, because I said that I'm gonna paywall the meows. This is all just meow. Meow now, please. It's the season of giving. What is your take on graffiti? Also meow. Oh wait, this is an actual question asked by R Montez01. I kind of like filtered it out because it said meow on it. But what's my take on graffiti? I like it. It's a great art that I think good graffiti says something about society, like Banksy. I know Banksy is overdone, but I saw his show in Glasgow in the UK, and seeing him explain it and seeing actual work by Banksy, not like some derivative, edgy version of it by somebody else, you kind of like, oh yeah, like Banksy's kind of sick. Like he's sick. So I think graffiti, I like graffiti. I like art that says something, that like tries to help the world. Not that art doesn't inherently help the world, but sometimes there's art that actually means something to people and isn't just schlock that you put out. I don't know what I'm saying. What about barking? I'm not gonna bark. I will draw the line of barking. But maybe if you sign up on patreon.com/oversettext, I might bark. The rest of these are just them asking me to meow. But you know what? Maybe I'll do a meow Patreon tier. So for $15 a month, I'll send you a high quality MP3 of me meowing. Maybe that'll be a thing. But you know what? Since I'm feeling generous, I'll meow for you right now. on youtube.com.